Turkey jails 6 Turkish media workers for life, releases German reporter. A Turkish court sentenced 6 journalists and other media professionals to life in prison Friday, Turkey's Anadolu state news agency reported, roughly an hour after another court freed a German-Turkish reporter who had been behind bars for the past year. The 6 were all sentenced for being associated with the movement of US-based Turkish cleric Fethullah Gullen, which Turkey says was behind a failed coup attempt in July 2016. Journalists Mehmet Altan and Nazlı Alikak received life sentences on the charge of being informed about the coup attempt before it happened. Their sentence officially means they must serve 40 years. They were also sentenced for attempting to disrupt constitutional order, as were Fevzi Yazwan C1, Yakupim_ek and Yukru Turul Ozi_ Gul, who worked at Gulen-linked newspapers and a television station. This is a dark day for press freedom and for justice in Turkey and sets a chilling precedent for scores of other journalists facing trials on similar trumped-up terrorism charges, said Gori Van Gulik, Europe Director for Amnesty International, in response to the sentencing. German journalist released earlier Friday, a separate court in Istanbul freed Deniz Yücel, a correspondent for Germany's Die Welt newspaper, according to the German government. The German-Turkish journalist was accused of spreading propaganda for the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, a Kurdish separatist group that the Turkish government has branded a terrorist organization. He was also accused of inciting violence in support of Gülen's movement. Yücel was detained on February 14 last year and has always denied the accusations. His case had become a cause of serious friction between Berlin and Ankara. A few hours after the order was given to release Yücel, his lawyer Veysel Okay tweeted a picture of Yücel and his wife, Dilek Mayachuk, outside the Istanbul prison. It remains unclear whether Yücel will be free to travel to Germany. Yücel's charges have not been dropped and his trial will go ahead as planned. The Istanbul state prosecutor is calling for Yücel to be jailed for up to 18 years, Anadolu reported. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said she was pleased that Yücel had been released from jail and thanked those who had worked to secure his release. "I am pleased for him. I am pleased for his wife and his family who had to endure a tough year of separation," she said. "I want to thank the civil society in Germany who did not forget Deniz Yücel and others who are in prison." The order to release Yücel comes a day after Merkel met with Turkish Prime Minister Binali Yildirim in Berlin. "It seems that some problems that occurred in the past in Turkish-German relations are solved today," said Yildirim on Friday. "We will take reciprocal steps to develop relations. We expect them not to tolerate terror organizations and not to allow activities that target our unity." Yücel was one of a number of German nationals imprisoned in Turkey last year as a diplomatic row between the two countries intensified. Relations have since improved and two high-profile prisoners, human rights activist Peter Stedner and journalist Mesut Tulu, were released late last year, although judicial proceedings against them are still continuing. 5 German nationals remain in custody in Turkey, whom we must assume are held for political allegations, according to the German Foreign Office. Friday's announcement coincides with a 2-day visit to Turkey by U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, who was due to hold meetings with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu. Gül's wife, Dilek Mayaçak, moved from Munich to Istanbul last year to be closer to her husband and tweeted regularly about his imprisonment. As Friday's news broke, she tweeted in Turkish, "At last. At last. At last. Deniz is free." Ulf Poskert, editor-in-chief of Die Welt, spoke of the delight among Gül's colleagues in a televised interview. "This is the most wonderful day in my career as a journalist. There are tears and cries of joy in our newsroom," he said. Dozens of journalists have been imprisoned without trial in Turkey since the failed coup, according to Reporters Without Borders. The country is ranked 155 out of 180 countries in the 2017 World Press Freedom Index.